I didn't question it when she said Christmas wasn't happening. Too expensive this year, my sister told me over the phone, her voice already halfway into another thought. We'll just keep it simple, maybe next year. I remember standing in my kitchen, looking at the unopened box of decorations I hadn't bothered to unpack yet. I said, yeah, that makes sense, and meant it, at least on the surface. It wasn't the first time something had been scaled back, or redirected, or quietly decided without me. What stayed with me wasn't the cancellation, it was how easily I accepted it. A few days later, I saw the photos. They weren't sent to me. They just appeared. A tag post I almost scrolled past, matching pajamas, my mom smiling in that specific way she does when she feels taken care of. My sister leaning into the frame like she orchestrated the whole thing. Even the dog had a red bow tied too tightly around its neck. It looked warm, intentional, funded. I didn't zoom in. I didn't react. I just noticed something settle into place inside me. Like a piece I'd been avoiding finally clicked. There wasn't a confrontation. No message asking why I wasn't told. No looks fun comment. I went back to work, finished what I was doing, closed the app. It wasn't anger, not exactly. It felt closer to recognition. The message about rent came 2 days later. You're still good for mom's rent this month, right? No greeting, no acknowledgement of anything else, just a continuation. As if nothing had shifted, I read it twice, not because I didn't understand it, but because I did. I typed, of course, and I meant that too in the same surface level way. There's a specific kind of quiet that comes when you realize your role in something has been consistent for a long time. Not forced, not demanded outright, just assumed. Reinforced by your own reliability, I had always been the one who made things easier, covered gaps, didn't complicate situations with questions or conditions. It wasn't generosity anymore, it was structure. That night, I logged into my banking app. There was no surge of emotion guiding it, no sense of retaliation, just a steady, almost administrative clarity. I stopped the scheduled payment. Then I opened the account tied to the credit card I'd added her to years ago, back when it felt like helping. I removed her access. It took less than 5 minutes. I stared at the screen for a while afterward, not waiting for anything, just letting the finality of it exist without dressing it up as something bigger. Before I went to bed, I recorded a voice note. I didn't rehearse it. Spend time with your real support system. I sent it and put my phone face down. Sleep came easily. At 8:12 the next morning, the calls started. I didn't see the first few. When I finally picked up my phone, there were already more notifications than I felt like counting. Missed calls stacked on top of each other. Messages layered with increasing urgency. Hey, can you call me? Something's wrong with the payment. Did you change something? Please respond. The tone shifted quickly after that. This isn't funny. I need to know what's going on. Mom's rent is due. Please respond. I read them all. Not in a rush, not avoiding them either, just taking them in as they were. There was a kind of rhythm to it. The escalation, the assumption that I would step back in and fix whatever felt unstable. I noticed how none of the messages asked if I was okay. None of them referenced Christmas. None of them acknowledged anything outside the immediate disruption. It wasn't surprising, it was just clearer than before. I didn't reply. Not that morning. Not that afternoon. At some point, the calls stopped coming in clusters and started spacing out. The messages got shorter, then quieter. I went about my day the same way I had the day before. Work, lunch, a walk I hadn't taken in weeks. There was no sense of triumph in it, no satisfaction. The noticeable absence of something that used to sit on my shoulders without me naming it. Later that evening, I listened to the voice note I'd sent. It sounded exactly how I remembered. Flat, unemotional, not cruel, just finished. I wondered briefly if I should have said more, explained it differently, given context. But anything I could have added would have softened it, made it negotiable. And that wasn't what this was. A few days passed. Eventually, there was a message that didn't ask for money. We need to talk. I looked at it for a long time, not because I didn't understand what it meant, but because I did. The structure had shifted, not loudly, not dramatically. Just enough that it couldn't be ignored anymore. I still haven't replied. Not out of spite. Not to prolong anything. I just don't know yet what that conversation looks like without stepping back into the role I quietly left. And for the first time, that uncertainty feels more honest than any answer I've given before.